Namaskar, Namaskar, good morning from North America and good evening to all the community members back home in India. Is Yeltika no kum shuru karan, is Hamish Godneth, Bhagwan Ganesh Yad Karan, Tamsin Stuti Paran. So allow me only 2 minutes, only couple of minutes before I begin. Om Vakratunda Mahakai Suryakoti Samprabha Nirvignam Kurmeshe Dev Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Ganeshaya Nama. A very warm welcome to the inaugural episode of the Homeland Podcast. So, what is this Homeland Podcast? And what is this show all about? Well, it's an initiative of Panun Kashmir Rehinge. And for those of you who do not know what Rehinge is, well, Rehinge is actually an acronym, which actually means Reverse Hindu Genocide in Kashmir. So, what are the objectives of this show? I mean, that should be the second question. What are the objectives of the show? Why this show? So, very simply, point number one is that it's a community outreach podcast. Point number two is that we want to reach out to all the community members, all the leaders, social media influencers, everybody, all the youngsters, especially the youngsters, to garner the support for the movement of Panun Kashmir that we have been fighting for the last 32 years. And last but not the least, we will on this show we are going to have panel discussions. We got to have one-on-one esteemed panelists and guests, and we will touch upon and discuss the very burning hot topics of the community of our contemporary times. So, without wasting any further time, let me welcome the very first guest on my show, Mr. Deepak Ganju from Miami, USA. Namaskar, Deepak ji.
Namaskar, namaskar,
Well,
namaskar.
well, Deepak ji doesn't need any introduction, but for the sake of introduction of to the larger audience, Deepak ji is basically a mechanical engineer. He is an entrepreneur. He is also founder of KHF, Kashmiri Hindu Foundation, based in United States. He is also managing editor of one of the very reputed community magazine, that is the Shehjar, and which has been serving the community from a very long time. He has also been ex-president of KOA, that is Kashmiri Overseas Association. And lastly, Yusme Panash Sari Khuzad Khoshkaran, he's a very senior activist and a very staunch supporter of Panun Kashmir. So welcome once again, sir. And before I start, this dialogue, I would like to know from you. Recently we learned that you had a run for a local body elections over there. I want to तुम्हारा थोड़ा तात मतलब कि what is it all about, and did you have fun? How did it all shape out, and how things went over there?
Yeah, uh, I live in Miami. We live in a region called Miami Shores. So we have local elections every 2 years. I feel that we Indians living abroad should also participate in local governmental activities
Right.
because we go to congressmen, we go to senators, request them to talk about our cause. But why can't we do that ourselves? We have
Right.
that capability, we have that smartness, we can also do it. So that was my main cause, that instead of going to other people, let me also have a chance. This is the first time I'm running. I have been living here for almost 30 years. This is the first time I'm running for a local body election. And it is important because the highest voter getter becomes a mayor automatically. And mayor is an important position in the local elections,
Right.
local cities and government.
Very
So that was my main aim. So it is one step towards basically highlighting our cause at
cause.
different levels, at every level rather. Yeah.
Right. And honestly, like, I mean, it's a no-brainer that all of us know that how you have been supporting the community from, I think, decades together now, and you have been personally, I think I mean, including your family also, you have taken several initiatives, be it like rallies, be some kind of documentary making, be
Yeah.
it like some protest or some kind of, you have always highlighted the cause of the community. So
See,
Deepak ji, ask me हमारा कि how was this journey all about? थोड़ा बहुत.
see this. I don't know why I came. You said about a lot of things about me, but it doesn't happen alone. I'm
Right.
not the doer. It is the community which makes me do those things.
Right.
See, I'm one of the victims of the 1989-90 when the exodus happened in Kashmir. I was there. I'm one of those people who was there,
The
and
victims
we
of.
suffered. My house is still there. The background you'll see one of the house of my neighbor, but our house is still there, abandoned and taken over by a neighbor Kashmiri Muslim. And I have not sold my house as yet, and I'm going to take it back. Let me tell you, I recently went in October of this year, last year 2222. I went to Kashmir. I visited my home. It was illegally occupied, and I told him that I'm going to come back and I'm going to offer you some money, but I'm going to take back that house. So
Right.
because that's not my house, that's the house of my ancestors. That's where
Correct.
my ancestors lived. And it is not just a mere property. It's not just a four walls with a roof on it. No, it's my it's
Heritage.
my pride. It's my
Right.
everything. So it's not just a house. We call okay. Many Kashmiri Pandits have sold their properties at throwaway prices. They have a right to go back because the government has enacted some policies that if you had sold your house on the basis of whatever reason, you can go back and take back that house. In Karanagar area, every house is more than $50 million. Sorry,
Right.
50 million. Sorry, 50 crore rupees.
Right.
So that is the condition of houses. There people have sold their house for a couple of lakhs of rupees, but it's in crores now. So we as Kashmiri Pandits should make a point that whosoever can take back their house, we should take back that house. We may not go there today, but ultimately we'll go back. And
Exactly.
those are the things which prompted me to go to my community and tell them our issues, our problems, and how we can go back. See, running away from the problem is not the solution. Confronting the problem, we ran away from Kashmir, but no, we should make it a point that we'll go back to Kashmir. There are a lot of issues we'll discuss. Those uh, why the government has failed in many ways in Kashmir. Even I'm talking about the current government. We'll talk about that. You can ask me certain questions on that, but we'll go on that later. Yes.
And it's a very, I mean, interesting thread that you just started. And I mean, that's what we used to call them, as we have sold them on peanut prices or the distress sales. And I'm so happy and glad, like, I mean, people and veterans, you have actually brought that awareness in the community, that let us retain whatever we have back there in the valley. So do you think, like, there is that, like the rightly the word, I mean, you used a very good word, like, this is just not the home in your background, it's a sense of belongingness, it's your ancestry, it's your descendancy, it's whatnot. But do you think that in the current younger generation in the diaspora overseas, do they have that kind of a feeling or understanding, or I mean, do you think that we, the people who live outside of India, are doing our best to educate our kids to have that sense of feeling?
I think most of the parents who have come from Kashmir, like I live in USA, my son told me, Papa, आपको वो मकान वापस लेना है. My
Wonderful.
son may not go there. My son may not do a business there, but he told me, Papa, हम हमारे पूर्वज वहां रहते थे. सो ये हमारे पूर्वजों की जमीन है. ये हमारे पूर्वजों का मकान है. हमें कोई हक नहीं बनता है कि हम उसको बेचें या किसी और को दें. We have to take that back. So even my son. So I have talked to many parents of our generation. So their children, they may not have gone back to Kashmir, but they love Kashmir. They launch for Kashmir, and they want to do something. Like you are a second generation. You are a
Right,
younger generation, and see how much passionate you are for Kashmir. So
right,
we have. I'm very proud to say that we have a second generation, the young generation. They have the same feelings what we have for Kashmir. They have the
right.
same love, the same enthusiasm, the same
Passion, yeah.
exuberance for Kashmir what we have. So our future is that way safe in your hands, and I'm very proud of that.
Wonderful. And I think not very long ago, this was in probably in news also, that Prime Minister Modi had told President Putin on his face, like this is not an age of war. So if it's not an age of war, so definitely it's a we live in those times where like we have the war of narratives, going all around us. So we have fake narratives, and I think, by the way, I think Kashmiri Pandit community is the biggest victim of the false narratives, by the way. So my question is, what I wanted to ask really, Ashwint, there are certain people, and unfortunately, I encountered some of them here in North America. They would still use the term like migration instead of calling it a genocide. Toy shu mara basan punjai panijai ki, it is very important for our community, and especially for the younger lot, to write the right terminologies,
Right.
right diction. And what's your opinion on this?
See, it was not a migration at all. I didn't leave Kashmir. My home is still in Kashmir. That I wanted to come to America. No, I was forced to leave. So it was not a migration. It
Right.
was basically forced exodus.
Right.
So we should call what it is. We should call a spade a spade.
Mhm.
So it is was a genocide. The whole Kashmiri Pandit community, Kashmiri Hindu community left Kashmir, not
Right.
because they wanted to go to Jammu and live there. No,
Right.
they left Kashmir because they were forced to do it. There were targeted killings. And another thing you have not mentioned is that most of the media in Kashmir, they used to call them militants. They're not
Right.
militants.
Yeah.
Militants mean mujahideen. That was the term that Americans propagated, that they are the freedom fighters. They're mujahideen. They're not militants. They're
They're not.
terrorists. We should call them terrorists. And we
Right.
should call them Islamist terrorists. We should not even call them terrorists. They are Islamist terrorists.
Exactly.
Their terrorism is based on religion. And you have
That's
seen recently how many killings have. I'll also like to emphasize on Article 370. We were all happy when Article 370 was removed. We all Kashmiri Pandits were happy. But what happened after Article 370? After Article 370, it has been replaced by another term called you have to be a domicile.
domicile. Domicile.
Domicile registration.
Yeah.
So Article
Like
330 has been replaced with and there are very stringent rules for domicile. You have to live in you have to have either studied in Kashmir or lived in Kashmir.
all lived in Kashmir.
Lot of us
Right.
who had state subject, who
Correct.
had article because of Article 3 we had state pressure. Now we cannot buy a land in Kashmir. A lot of people. My brother is in Delhi. He cannot buy a land because he has not lived in Kashmir during for about 10 years or whatever is the requirement for being a domicile. Leave me because I am now I live in USA and I am a US citizen. But
Right.
why my brother cannot buy a land there? He's a Kashmiri Pandit
Exactly.
because now Article 370 replaced by domicile. So people should know about that so many things that government of India has done supposedly for us are not for us.
For us.
Government of India has failed miserably in Kashmir. Let me tell you, recently you must have heard the uh, uh, the 5 billion rupees, about 60.5 million dollars development for a shopping mall and multi-purpose commercial.
Yeah. FDI. Sorry.
Correct.
Yeah.
And this is, I would like to read the statement of it's a MR group of UAE.
Right.
He's saying that this is the start. We should inspire people. We should inspire people. People should aspire to follow us. This is a 1 million square feet mall with 500 shops and will generate about 7,000 to 8,000 jobs.
Right.
7,000 to 8,000 jobs for whom? For Kashmiri Muslims. What about Kashmiri Hindus? Kashmiri Hindus can't even live there. They can't even go there. If somebody goes there, he is targeted, he is killed. Even that this an ordinary Golgappa vendor was killed
Right.
in the market there. So it's all for Kashmiri Muslims, not for us, not for Hindus at all. Because even a bank manager who came from Rajasthan and was appointed in Dehati Ilakai Bank was killed the next day.
Right.
So the Kashmir is today not for us. It is being sold to Saudis, it is being sold to UAE. Kashmiri Hindus or Hindus in general don't have any right on Kashmir. This
Exactly.
Kashmir is now totally changed. It was Nizam Mustafa earlier.
Right.
Now the government of India is basically making it more Nizam Mustafa. As I
Exactly.
told you, I went in October of 2022 in Srinagar. I found that after the airport, when you go inside the city,
Mhm.
it is Nizam Mustafa.
Right.
Where you see girls with when we were in Kashmir, girls were not wearing hijabs and all. Now all the girls are with hijab. All the men
Radicalization.
are with dadi and this thing. It looks like worse than Saudi Arabia.
Right.
Kashmir is not for us. Only it is The military is there, military presence is there, but Kashmir we have lost. Let me be very frank. Kashmir is not for us. Tourists go there. A record number of 23 lakh tourists visited Kashmir till October of last year. A record number.
Right.
So tourists can go. Even we go to Kashmir, we go to Tulmula, we can go to other places. As a tourist, you can go. They will welcome you. Well, so sorry, they will love you. But
Right.
as soon as you tell them that the whole house that you're looking in the back, if I say that okay, I'm going to live there, I will be a target and I'll be killed in within a week or within a month. So Kashmir, we have lost. Let me be very frank and clear. And unless until we, as a community, we exert something and do something,
Right.
appeasement will not work. We have to confront the government at each and every level. That what about us? You are giving 7,000 to 8,000 jobs to Kashmiri Muslims. What about us? Where will we go? And you are already seeing what is happening to the employees, the Kashmiri Pandit employees in Jammu, how they are, the government has not paid them the salary. So the situation is very grave and grim. Let us be very clear about that.
Right. And Deepak ji, one more thing that I would like to bring to your notice, and obviously you must be already aware. Like recently, we had like 300 days long agitation in Jammu, wherein like our own community brothers and sisters, they were basically fighting for their right to survive, for the survival sake only. And it was a right for their bread and butter, and which was basically exploited. And they were eventually, forced to wind up and go back. And as on date and as on time when you and me talking, so right now both those boys, girls, and everybody over there, they are still facing the same threat of targeted killings. Do you think, as a community who is like dispersed all over the globe, we need to do something? I mean, we need to think something out of the box, or we need to take some different kind of initiative, because the way you put it, the Kashmir is lost. So in the light of that, if there is only way we can go back, is that what we have been suggesting from last 30 years, that give us a separate chunk of land that we called as Panun Kashmir under the constitutional ambit of India. And recently, to add to that, Kashmir Hindu Foundation came out with a memorandum in support of the Margdarshan resolution of 1991. So can you tell us why it really becomes important in these times, tough times? I guess.
See, we Kashmir is a very complex issue, and it has been made more complex by the current administration. Manoj Sinha is a failure in Kashmir, so we should understand that. And but the problem is that we sometimes don't criticize our own government. We I think we all love Modi, and Modi is good for India, good for the country. But let us be very clear: he has failed in Kashmir. He has
Right.
failed miserably in Kashmir, and his Manoj Sinha, his man has. Why doesn't he care about those employees? What those
Exactly.
poor employees have done? When you can spend $60 million in Kashmir, why can't you give a couple of lakhs of rupees as a salary to those employees? You know why? Because we don't have a vote bank. We are very small minority community. They don't care about Kashmiri Pandits now. We are like forgotten. They, we may we may do these podcasts, we may do these conferences, we may do these world conferences and global conferences. It doesn't matter what we do. They don't
Right.
care about us. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about those poor employees. Why they can't give them salary for a couple of months? Why if they can't give them salary, they're asking them to go back to Kashmir? Can they provide security to each, and can they give foolproof that they won't be killed? Because these guys, Kashmiri militants or Kashmiri terrorists, I will call them, not militants, I'm sorry to use the word militant, they're terrorists. They
Right.
have the psyche, they have the plan that if these Kashmiri Pandits or Kashmiri Hindus or Hindus from India want to settle there, they don't have to do anything. They have stopped doing pathral, they have stopped doing stone pelting. They will just kill one Hindu in 1 month, one Hindu in 4 months, and basically that's what they are doing. They have a good agenda, and government of India has no answer to that. So I think the agitation that Kashmiri these employees are doing in Jammu, I think we should speak about it. We should talk about it at each and every level. Let government of India know that if you do any harm to these employees, we will go at international level and we will say that you are talking about human right violation. Human right violation is happening in to Hindus. Either give them security or give them the salary. Don't stop salary. Don't make them martyrs in Kashmir. We have so many Hindus you have seen Kashmir files. That was a
Right.
true story. You have seen what has happened to us. A lot of Hindus, a lot of people in India and the world did not know about it. We are
Right.
a forgotten community. So we don't have to do that. We have to, like you, what you are doing today. We have to do such actions at each and every level. That's the answer to it. Yeah.
Right. And this actually reminds me of Dr. Dilip Kumar Kol. He always says like what has happened to our community in last 700 years in one word is genocide. And post 1947, what we have been facing as a community is the denial of genocide. So do you think that the usage of the word genocide to what has happened to me, to you, to everybody listening over here, and how state is actually denying our genocide, do you think that we actually need to bring up this like anything on all the different platforms wherever we go, be it over media, over print, or do you think that there is a serious need, because every passing day we are basically nearing our extinction as a community? So I think it is now or never kind of a call. What are your thoughts on this?
I think what you're saying about our cause genocide, I think Kashmir file was the best example of showing to the world, showing to the rest of the Hindu community, even in India, that what happened to Kashmiri Pandits. Lot of, as I said, a lot of people didn't know about it. So
Right.
that is a genocide. If that is not a genocide, then there is nothing is called a genocide.
All legends.
And the problem is that our own government doesn't recognize that.
Right.
They don't recognize that it was a genocide. And you can still see a lot of people in Jammu are living in very poor condition.
Exactly.
Why they are living there? Why can't they go to back to Chinar Bagh and nice area in Kashmir? They left their home, they left their villages, and a lot of people have done well. They got education and they are doing good jobs and all. But there are a lot of people around the community still in the camps. You can see it. I went recently to India and I saw what is happening in Jagti camp. A lot of people don't have, and a lot of people have died. They didn't see the what has happened to us. So we are in that stage that it is now or never. If we
Right.
can't do it now, we have to have a plan. We have, like you are saying, Panun Kashmir, we have to, like, Indian government already, there are three separate union territories, and what they can also do Panur Kashmir, but we have to go beyond our first level. We have
Right.
been talking, but we have to have a plan. We have
Plan.
to have, we have to go to the government. We have to request them. But as a united force. See, we are all divided in many small groups or small communities, small associations, and all. No,
Right.
when we comes to the common voice, you have to be one. I'll tell you, I will give an example. Yesterday, we had an early voting here in Miami Shores. There are seven candidates, and
Uh,
seven candidates are running for three positions. But at the end of the day, I called all of them. I said, let's take a joint picture. And I issued a statement that we may be fighting against each other, but our goal is one. We
is
want
safe.
to
Yeah.
serve our Miami Shore community. So that should be the goal of us also. We may be so many organizations,
Right.
but we should come together on one single platform, on one single point, and demand one issue, at
Right.
least one demand to the whole government, and
Right.
tell them that we are not divided on this issue. We are
Exactly.
together. We will fight
Exactly.
together, and we will be together. We may be different groups, different associations, but our heart, our love is for Kashmir, and we want to do something for Kashmir. I think we should do that on this platform, on go out and request everybody to fight for that one issue. That
Exactly. And you rightly said, you are on the Panun Kashmir platform, and you are speaking so bravely, and this is so admirable. I am also wondering, sometimes, I mean, people ask some very hard questions like, oh, you live outside, so I mean, it's not like generalizing. There are people who does recognize that diaspora has done a very good job. They have sent scholarships, they have helped needy, they have done this, but overall there is a very strong, and Deepakji, I think you are the best person to answer this question. being the senior most representative of the diaspora, it's a very, very straight. And I would really appreciate if you can give, because I know many people listening us must be expecting this, that, there is a general notion in the community that diaspora, the Kashmiri Pandit diaspora, has not supported the community the way it should have. When we talk of our perpetrators, let us look at the Kashmiri Muslims. So their diaspora is always so active monetarily, narrative wise. تۄہہِ کیٛاہ چھُو باسان کہِ أسۍ کیٛازِ روٗد اَتھ منٛز تھوڑا پَتھٕے پَہَن؟
کینٛہہ چھِ سٲنۍ تہِ غلطی اَتھ منٛز. I will tell you one thing. A lot of people say कि है यिम छ नेबर रूजित यिमन छ पनुन तति जान मकान वकान ति यिम क्या करन कशीर अस खतर. What will they do? यिम छ ऐश करान तति एर कहे मकानन बिहित यिम क्या करन. But let me tell you, my heart bleeds for Kashmir. I have nightmares about my home. When I sit sometime, I dream about my home. I dream about living in the Kearney. I dream about that my kut and my place. So it's not that we live here, but our heart still is in Kashmir. We live here. We have branches here, but our roots are in Kashmir. So we have our roots in Kashmir, and we basically launch for that. So don't think that we don't have anything to do with Kashmir. We visit every 2 years, 3 years. We visit Kashmir. We go to our home. As I told you, in October I went to Kashmir. I didn't go anywhere else. I didn't go to Tulmala. I didn't go to Shankaracharya. I didn't go to Chinar Bagh. I didn't go to Nishad Bagh. I went to my home because that is my temple. That is my place. And I want to take back that home. So don't think that we don't love Kashmir. We have. I get nightmares. So are others, not me. There are my friends. I talk to them. I know how much we bleed for Kashmir. So we may be here. My roots are in Kashmir. So let me tell you that our roots are in Kashmir.
Right. And Mishubasa, there was a saying when I was in school, the higher you go, the cooler it is. When such the farther you are, the more closer you come to your roots. I probably feel.
Yes. No, and now as you are living in Canada, right, you must be thinking how much you launch for Kashmir. Exactly. How much you love Kashmir. How much your whole family is basically involved in, and you are very passionate people. You are very loving people, and you have been. So you can get Canada, but don't you love Kashmir? Don't you launch for Kashmir? Same thing. I have been living here for 25 to 30 years, but my roots are in Kashmir.
Right. And there is Deepakji. I have one more question.
Yes.
Because I think listening from you is like listening from the horse's mouth. If you look back and you see the role of, because the agenda of this, the first very inaugural episode was like the overseas diaspora. So Taishu Basanki, like in last 3 decades, is there slowly a receding sense of decline in a way, like that exile consciousness is not still alive in us, or we are slowly because when I speak, I'm not talking of your generation, let us say even people who are younger to me. So obviously there are exceptions. There are people who are younger to me, and I can tell you their name. Timbarach Dapan ki bhaiya, just tell us what we need to do. But then there are also, we cannot negate, there are certain people, and I sometimes blame their parents. They have not kept that sense of and the most disturbing thing is they don't even try to speak in Kashmiri, because I was telling last day I was telling other day I was talking to somebody, and I said the first step towards the reversal of cultural genocide is Kashmir Pat Kath Karen, because it's very important, and we should talk in Kashmiri, but what do you think, like how we should what should be our like a roadmap on the survival of our language and culture purely from a diaspora perspective?
You are absolutely correct on this a very important issue that you raised, that our children or our children's children, they may have lost Kashmiri name, but they may not know anything about Kashmir. And if you don't talk to them about Kashmir, if you don't talk to them about our roots, if you don't talk to them how we came from Kashmir and where our basic roots are, they'll forget about it. That's true. That's a big danger the diaspora has, to teach their children We
Right.
are there, our generation is there, even our children, but to teach the further generation that how important is to be connected to your roots. I recently met a family. They are from Trinidad, and the girl is. I said, "You look Indian. Are you Indian?" She said, "Yeah, I'm Indian. My grandparents came from India, so we sometimes celebrate Diwali. My father is a Hindu, and my mom is from Trinidad. So I only knew her because of her name, but she doesn't know anything about India. She doesn't know anything about her roots in India. I told
Right.
her, "Oh, what's your last name?" She said, "Oh, you may be from UP, you may be from Uttar Pradesh. You should definitely go to India." So this danger is with our generation. This can
Right.
happen to us, and we should be very, very cautious on that. That it is our duty, because tomorrow we may not be here. We may not live here,
Right.
and who will tell our children or our children's children that what Kashmir is, how beautiful Kashmir was, how beautiful Kashmir is, and where our root, from where our grandparents came. See, if you forget your roots, you forget your own identity. Let me tell
Exactly.
you that.
Exactly. That's
You may get a lot of money, you may get successful in your life, but your roots are in Kashmir. We should understand that, and we have to teach. It's a very important question you said, that as a diaspora, we
right.
have to teach that to our children. We have to talk to them in Kashmiri. Maybe Kashmiri language they may not learn, but Kashmiri culture, Kashmiri diaspora, Kashmiri everything we have to. Like I told you, I am eating sursot at this time. So, you know, I,
By the way, you are watering my mouth also.
like like my granddaughter, she loves sursot. It's not question of sursot, it's question of your culture.
Your
Our
culture.
grandmother, our parents, they used to make sursot, surgasant sort nera. So it's connecting to our roots. So connecting
Roots.
to our roots is not just by language. Language is very important part, but it's also the food, the other thing, our
Yeah, the other dimensions.
religious festival, Shivratri, we celebrate all those things. So all those things are connected to us. So we have to propagate that. And actually, our own associations here overseas, they do that. They have been doing, like Kashmir Hindu Foundation, Kashmiri Overseas Association, all those associations have been doing that at their own level. They have annual camps and all. So we teach those things to, so that the next generation also knows about our culture, our diaspora and all that thing. So, but we have to do certain. I will agree on one point, that a lot of our children don't know Kashmiri. A lot of our children don't know anything about Kashmir. A lot
Exactly.
of our children don't even launch to go to Kashmir, to go to India, to know where from we came. So it's our duty as parents. It's
Right.
our duty, our generation. We have to do that. We have to do a better job on that. We have been doing it, but we have to do a better job. Yes.
Right. And I think those are the golden words from you. Which was concerned, I myself become so saddened when I go out and I see different people from different ethnicities, different nationalities, geographies, backgrounds. Although the environment we live in is English, we have to speak it for our professional compulsions. मगर अक्स चीज मरा वुच में ये ते अगर तो एक पंजाब मेले सुच घर पंजाब पट कत करान for that matter any European, East European, Scandinavia, they will speak in the Germans will speak in German, the Russians will speak in Russians. मगर यम साथ इस बुचुस I don't know, I'm not generalizing, but अमूमन there is a trend like we prefer not to speak in Kashmiri. तो शु बसान के if we psychologically analyze this has something to do with the Stockholm or slavery syndrome we have come out of from last 700 years, that we kind of feel shame in speaking in Kashmiri or talking in it.
Uh, I don't think it is. It is the new trend. It was earlier when we were in Kashmir. मिचुवारियात वारियान ने सुना, ओ इसको ना हिंदी नहीं आती है, इसको इसको हिंदी हिंदी में बात करो ना. So that was then. I don't think now. The now is the problem, that we don't teach Kashmiri to our children.
Right,
We don't
anymore.
talk. If we अगर से घर से मत कोशिश पर काट करो, तुम हेचन कोशिश. They
Right.
will know. Like my granddaughter, she's 8 year old. You talk to her in Kashmiri, she will understand everything. Ushin
Wow.
panu
That's
koishe par kafi kare kun sada par, hey ametul kalador. Then she tell, don't tell me kalador. I said, what is kalador? Headache. I'm not a headache. Don't talk. I'm not a kalador. So you have to speak. Number one, you have to speak Kashmiri in your home.
Kashmiri.
If
Yeah.
you speak Kashmiri in your home, your children will learn
Right.
Kashmiri. and they will feel proud to be Kashmiri. So it is very important that everything starts from your home.
Warm your
So you
ears.
have to begin it from your home, and then you can go to your to your community, to your relative, to other things. So first, and a lot of people, when our children used to talk in Kashmiri, hey man sorry cautious tagan, hey can hitch. We a lot of times used to involve our children in doing some Kashmiri dramas, Kashmiri skits, community members. So
Right,
those things are important. Not make Kashmiri language fun for them.
right.
Do some Kashmiri skits in your community. Do certain things so that children will also love to participate, love to do
Participate.
that, love to
Be
talk that.
connected.
So they will automatically learn it. You don't have to go to school. Your
Yeah. Right.
school is your home. Start from your home. So this is the responsibility of each and every Kashmiri Pandit. Whether he is living in Jammu, he is living in Pune, he is living in Delhi, he is living in Miami, he is living in Chicago, or anywhere, or in Canada. So
Right.
it's our responsibility.
Yes.
It starts from each and every home. So every home should take that responsibility. Every parent should take that responsibility and do their part.
Exactly, exactly. And I think like the sense of belongingness is the key to the exile consciousness and our fight ahead. So Deepak ji, I think you know our viewers are also very eager to learn more about your personal journey. So can you tell us something about the Kashmir Hindu Foundation? How did you construct it, and what were the ideas and what were the motivations that time behind? Tell us something more
Kashmir
about
Hindu Foundation was formed to basically help our community to go at different level on international level. Kashmir Hindu Foundation we have been doing a lot of annual camps
it.
where
Right,
we meet, we sing songs, Kashmiri songs, we invite, and then we also do some Kashmiri skits and those cultural things. But lately we have been more involved in political aspect of Kashmir.
political aspect. Right,
Yes, whenever there is anything happening in Kashmir, in
right.
like recent killings and all, we have been on the forefront at different levels. We do in California, we do in Miami. We have gone at a different. And recently, you must have heard there was they had a live broadcast. Uh, we had a big rally against the Islamic terrorism in Kashmir, and it was covered in Republic TV. They had, I think, 3 4 minutes episode on that. So we want to highlight the problems of Kashmir, the
Right.
killings in Kashmir that is happening recently. Government of India is advertising Kashmir is normal. Everything is very nice there. There's a record tourists have come there, which is true. I have a figure of 102 flights handled at the airport on any given day.
Yeah.
102 flights. Recently and the airport is like a fish market. The tourist influx is huge in Kashmir. A record number of tourists, 23 lakh tourists came last year. And only, I think, 3.5 lakhs were the Amarnath pilgrims. So tourist influx is big, and the government of India is trying to showcase that Kashmir is normal. Everything is very nice there. Tourists are even, but it is normal for whom? Not for you, not for me. If
Right.
I go as a tourist, it's okay. But if I want to live there, if I want to do a business there, it's not normal for me. It's
Exactly.
not normal for you. It's not normal for any non-Muslim to live there and to do business there. It is
Right.
normal just to go as a tourist.
As a
And we
tool.
should understand another thing, that as tourists, when we go as a tourist, we spend money there. We put on social media, ha, goes Gulmar, pat goes to Pahalgam, pat kur mein tachi ride, pat kur. But you are basically helping
The
the
perpetrator.
terrorists in Kashmir,
Exactly. That's
because
right.
Kashmir already has got a lot of money.
Money. Yeah.
Tati गरीबन कहीं तति मिलन तो छान या तरखान या कहीं मिलन होता है तति सारी बिहार काम करान. All Kashmiri Muslims are now very rich,
Right.
so you should understand that Kashmir is normal for them, not for us.
Not for
It
us.
is not for us.
Exactly.
So that point we should understand, and we should not even go as a tourist in Kashmir and help these people. Government of India has already, I told you how the Saudi Arabia has spent millions of dollars there,
Right.
and
Exactly.
they also have a plan on River Jhelum to have a river cruises there.
Tuberculosis.
Markam is khatra.
Right.
Chani
Exactly.
to myani khatra chuna.
Now,
या
sir.
या जिम का बिचौर से employee तथा तमिस खतर छुन So it's not for us. So
And
development.
Deepak ji, just bringing your attention to a very important point. There have been certain people uh, in the, I mean, the overseas diaspora himself. They have been, creating a lot of confusion within the diaspora. They, I mean, for they, the government, the state of India tries to, showcase like everything is fine, cosmetically everything is good, tourists are flowing in, and development is happening. But the real genocide, they're trying to bury the genocide of Kashmiri Pandits under the carpet. But, but there are certain people, and I'm amazed. And there is a very big, lobby here in overseas diaspora, who actually support that narrative of the state of India by that way. So, what do you think that how should we as a community counter those black sheeps within us?
uh, you may be partially correct that they may be doing like that, but they are not doing it openly. They are doing it covertly.
Right,
Covertly means that they will not highlight that point. They will highlight the other point. They
right,
will push this issue under the rug. Nobody talks about Article 370.
right.
370 हट गया तो क्या हुआ? Domicile आ गया. So it's the same thing. A,
Exactly.
a Hindu from India cannot buy a land there, but Saudi Arabia can make $70 million investment there. उनके
FDI.
लिए ठीक है, but not for us. So you have to highlight these issues. You have to highlight these points to each and every. So it's our mistake. We have to highlight our issues. We have to tell the media, tell everybody that what is the truth about Kashmir.
Mhm.
What is happening there? It is normal. Yes, it is normal. For whom? For them, not for us, not for
Not
me,
for us.
not for you. So we have to highlight that Kashmir is normal for the whole world. It is developing. Everything is nice there. $1 million, $1 billion investment is happening there. It's wonderful, but not for a Hindu,
Not
not
for
for a non-Muslim. It's good for them, not for us.
not for us.
So let us be very clear on that, and let us highlight that issue. And government of India should understand that. Don't think that we are quiet. Don't think that we will not rise up. Think, if we want, हम आपको बदनाम बहुत कर सकते हैं
That's
overseas में. So
exactly.
we don't want to do
That's
that
a very
because
important point.
we
Very important.
we are first Indians and then we are Kashmiri. So, but don't push us to the wall,
To the
please. Don't push. If you push us to the wall, we may retaliate also. So they should understand that part. I can say that.
And
Yes.
I think state is probably missing a point here that although Kashmiri Pandit might not be an electoral force, as they say, and as all of us say, that we are a very strong, vote bank influencers. We can influence the vote bank in
Yeah.
India like big time. So they should not, take us for granted for ransom. And Deepak ji, ismara shi iti asan toinish bozul ki, and personally, I am also, very inquisitive and curious to know how did the journey of Shehjar start? Like, when did it start? And what was the idea? What was source of inspiration? So I kit pe davi khayal ki I should start an digital magazine and serve the community through that medium.
Same issue that we wanted to highlight our plight and highlight in have our own media presence so that we can tell our people in the way we want to what is our issues, what are our problems, so that it goes. See, earlier we used to do Shehjar every month. It was a monthly issue. Now we have been doing quarterly. So it is
Right.
not. It's because of me. I have not been able to do so many things at so many times. But we are definitely in that. So basically, it was the media. So that media is very important part. Media is very important aspect in any issue. Without
Right.
media, you won't be successful to highlight your issue, highlight your plight. So media is one of the more. So that was the basic reason why we started that and how we did that. So I know that my another partner Arun Call, he has been very helpful in doing the background work about Shehjar and all, handling the website issues and other things. So it's a teamwork. It's not only me who has done it. It's a teamwork, and we have been doing it, and we will continue doing that. Yes.
And that's what a team leader is all about, giving all the credit to the team itself. And
No,
so
because you cannot be successful single-handedly.
right,
If you don't have a team, it's it's like a cricket match. Sometimes you may bat good, sometimes but it's the team who wins the match, not one single person. One single person may highlight one day, but It's a team. It's a team effort.
Right.
It's not single person. Like I tell you, I won't be successful alone. I need help from people like you, from people like we are in that. It's not only me. You and me are like actors in the front, but there are a whole lot of people in the backstage who are
Backstage.
doing a lot of work,
Yeah. Mm.
who are doing the background work. So कलाकार हैं सामने नाटक के, but पीछे तो बहुत लोग हैं.
Right. It pades yeles activismus mas starting mas es dapan asoci mani vanne ki yus last rows mas kulchu tu bagrawan shirchai sit such temsun tu contribution asan. Then you said it very beautifully that even the people working behind the stage are also very important contributors to this team success and everything. Gumara Chusesan, and I am also out of time, and but just to wrap up, I have to take some question and answers from the viewers. I got a question from Sumit, and Sumit is saying, what is your take on the Panun Kashmir's genocide and atrocities bill 2020, and how important it is for the government of India to have a genocide law in the country and enact it?
It is very important because I think unless until we prove that it's a genocide,
Mhm.
government of India will ignore us and they don't care about us. So it is very important. Actually, the Panun Kashmir concept was initiated long time ago. It is not. It's a concept.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It has been done by your dad, Agni Shekhar ji, and Ajay
Ajay.
Srangu. They all those people were behind it initially, and I know how passionate they are. And a lot of people have reservations about Panun Kashmir. Hey, imke think karan, how they will do it?
Yeah.
What they Panun police force pat karna ye pat to ka in sari Musliman. Yes, there is Israel also, and they have in Islamic countries who are very uh, who don't have good relationship with them,
Right.
but they exist. Why they exist? Because they have will to exist. That's why
Exactly.
they in a small area there. So we can also do it. We can have our own police force. And I'll tell you, people look, hey, kusi wapas kusi kashir, yin wapas. I'll be the first person to go back.
Wonderful.
I can tell you. So it's not. Don't underestimate the concept of Pannu Kashmir. People have a lot of reservations about that.
Right.
Don't underestimate. It's a very important, and we should demand it. We should demand it on a higher scale, on a different scale, because I think it's also our fault that we have not been able to market it well to
Right.
our own community and then to outside to Hindus, because Pannu Kashmir is within Indian constitution. We are not asking for a separate region and outside
Exactly.
the constitution of
So
India. No,
that's a very important point you're raising. Very
like
important.
a union territory.
Right.
You have union territories in India, so why can't we have a union territory?
Exactly.
And give it a try. If we fail, we fail, but give it a try. Give us an opportunity. Give it to us, and
Right.
let's see how we handle it. And I think we will be able to handle it very remarkably well. There are a lot of, like you are saying, overseas, this Kashmiri Pandit diaspora. Ask a lot of people here who have money, who will be ready to invest in that area, who will be ready to have businesses or small these IT businesses and a lot of tourism businesses. Say when Saudi Arabia can invest 50 70 crores, sorry, $70 million there for a
Dollars.
mall, why
Right.
can't we do it? We can
Exactly.
also do it. We have our own people to do it, so we can do it also. So I think we should work on it very strongly. I think we as a team should work on it and go to the next level and think how we can market it and
Right.
how we can demand it from government of India.
Exactly. How can we make it happen? Exactly. Well said, Deepak ji. The last question of the show, and my back team has just texted me actually. So Arvind Tikku ji, I think Jammu se पूछ रहे हैं एक सवाल आपसे.
हाँ
Yim
जी.
Chusan ke how should, and by the way, Arvind is an activist of Panun Kashmir. So he has a question. He asks, Deepak ji, I am so enthralled to listen to your candid words. Can you please suggest how can Panun Kashmir connect to the Kashmiri Pandit youth living abroad in USA and Canada uh, with in association with Kashmir Hindu Foundation? So I think he has gone too much into deep into the conversation thing. So to kya shu Samis Vanan Arvind ji.
Now, Arvindian pros varya jaan sawal, and that is what I was also telling, that we have to market it well. We have to go to our youth. We have to involve them in Panun Kashmir. We have to tell them what Panun Kashmir is. Like I was talking to you other day, let's have a camp, annual camp, and
Right,
invite youth there
right,
and make them understand what Panun Kashmir is, what the idea is, and how we can propagate it at all levels. So it has to come from grassroots. तो ये तो hakan bana Kashmir, Panun Kashmir.
exactly.
You
That's
and me cannot make Panun Kashmir. It has to come from that youth. It has to come from the youth at the ground level, and we have to get them involved.
right,
Divis Manste, Dili Manste, Punas Manste, overseas also. So that concept. So whatever you have made, we have to send them emails. We have to connect with them, and we have to involve all of them. So we have to go to the next level. So we can just karan. I'm patachas kom karin dele. So what his question is that he's asking you and me to work on this.
exactly. That's
So
what he's hinting at. Exactly.
right now, from tomorrow onwards, let's do that. How we can do it. So it's not a question. It's
Yeah,
he's asking us to do something,
right.
and we'll do it.
And I think Arvind ji should be satisfied with the answer. I think Deepak ji, it was a pleasure to host you, and I really wish you all the success and best in the local elections you recently had. And itha patruju to as margdarshan karan. You are such a great support and ideologue of the community. And if any message you want to give, before we say goodbye to each other.
No, message is this, that we love our Kashmiri youth, we love our Kashmiri Pandits, we love all the family. We are like extended family. We should understand that. We may
Right.
have so many groups, so many associations, but we all love Kashmir, and Kashmir is our motherland, and we should all work to create Panun Kashmir.
Right.
Jai Hind.
Thank you so much. Jai Panun Kashmir. So I will see you guys again on the very next episode of the Homeland Podcast with a new guest. Totandi ijazat. Namaskar. Jai Panun Kashmir.